Morning everyone, welcome back to my duck chess speedrun series. Today we start at 1700, and we'll play 4 games, hopefully we'll end up with more elo than we started with. And without any further ado, let's get into today's content. First opponent is a beginner from Thailand. e4, duck on e5. For the past few weeks I have been doing 25 elo per video. But since chess.com has been very stingy on elo distribution, 25 elo at this rating may require me to play up to 10 games in a row, which is way too much to edit for a single video. Therefore I decided to change the format to 4 games per video, and even if we lose, the series will still continue, as long as we end up with more rating points than we started with. c5. Knight c3. I've just realized that c5 is actually a very good move though. Maybe I'll take a look at it after the recording to see if c5 can end up as the real best move for black. e6. e5, both of his bishops are already blocked by his own pawns. I'll block his knight instead. Bishop e7. Knight f3. f6. d4. This is actually pretty bad for me. The fact that he has his c-pawn and his f-pawn joining the center fight makes it really difficult for me to keep my center board activity. C takes d4. I'll take this pawn. Please take my knight. He didn't. Knight takes d4. Alright, I lost both of my center pawns only to trade off his c and f pawns, but on the other hand, my pieces are now a lot more active than his, and I can still use my duck to close down his center development. So I guess this is still kinda acceptable. Knight c6. Of course I'm not taking. He takes. I'll take with queen. Very risky though, but since we don't have center pawns, keeping the pieces active is literally the only practical way left to play this game. Short castle. Long castle. Knight d5. That blunders a pawn. Knight takes d5. E takes d5. Queen takes d5, and since this is a check, I'll use the duck to remove his king's only safe square. Ha! Now he has to block the check with his rook. Not gonna lie, but that actually looks really bad. Or he can block with the duck, of course there is always that option. But he blunders a bishop though. Double attack, he has to block the check with the rook, so the duck can block my bishop's attack on his queen. Or he can blunder the queen, I forgot that was an option. Fine then. The rule of thumb is to prioritize blocking the enemy rook with the duck, but just for this game, I will allow his rook to move. Take my pawn please. Absolutely. Queen d8 check. Duck on f7. My duck is now an imposter acting as my opponent's pawn. Rook f4. Free bishop. d6. Free rook. Resignation. Okay, honestly that was a lot harder than expected. That c5 first move actually worked. But anyway, second game, let's go. e4, duck on e5. e6. Okay, that should be a mistake. I'll take the full center. Queen f6. Very aggressive. I'll try to win his queen real fast. e5, and I'll block the woman from coming back. Queen f4. Aha. That is actually a very good move. Not only he can defend his queen, but the woman is also counter-attacking my d-pawn in the center, aiming to take the pawn and then block my queen from a recapture. Absolutely brilliant. That is like killing 2 stones with 1 bird. Now I have to defend my pawn. Alright, maybe this guy isn't actually a real beginner. I have to be more careful from now on. Never mind. That blunders a woman. Regination. Third game. Aha. This guy is not a beginner. It seems like he played 2 games and lost one of them. And unfortunately, this will be his second loss. E3. Duck on C4 is quite a weird decision. E5, duck on D3. G3. B6. This was a bad move from me. I should have just gone for the full center. But I guess it's nothing much to be worried about. Knight E2. Now I go full center. B3. Bishop G4, and sadly we can only block one of his bishops. Bishop B2, Knight C6, Bishop G2, Knight F6, castle. I'll take the knight. Knights are very valuable in this mode, they are almost unaffected by the duck. Queen takes. Bishop C5. F4. I'll close the center. Opening the position only benefits the bishops. Queen B5. That is a very dangerous move. Knight E7, duck on C6. A very dangerous move for me, but also a very dangerous move for him. He'd better move his queen back quickly before I destroy it. He did. Queen D7. Bishop H3. Castle. Queen G2. He's attacking on my king side. I'll counterattack on the other side. Knight C3. I'll try to take that knight as well. A3. Take rook D8 D3 take knight F5. Threatening knight E3 family fork. He defends it. Honestly, even if I got the fork I still wouldn't trade my knight with a rook. But of course, I'll trade nothing with a bishop. Rook F1. Free pawn. His position is collapsing real fast, the game wouldn't last much longer. E4. That blunders a pawn, but if I really have to trade off a knight, I'll prefer trading it with a rook. Or I mean I can trade it with a queen. Man, I totally forgot about that. Knight takes G2. King takes, pawn takes, rook down, pawn push, rook up, queen back, pawn push. His bishop is very sad, rook down, rook up, that blunders a king. I mean, he played really well in the beginning, but middle game is just way too tactical to handle. Final game. Aha. Finally, a very strong opponent for the last game of the video. Over 100 points of velo higher than me. 2000 rated rapid. I am bound to lose right here. I'll speed up the first few moves. Bishop B4. I'll remove his e-pawn defender. He added a new defender, and also blocked my h-pawn from attacking his knight. He knows everything I want to do. I'll slow down a little bit. Knight B1. What? Okay, that move stunned me for like 20 seconds there. Maybe there is something tricky that I cannot see yet. This is genuinely very scary. A3. Aha. I see. He wanted to trap my bishop, so he pulled his knight back and my bishop wouldn't be able to make a trade. That was a very nice try. Bishop A5. Duck on B4. D3. I have to go back to release my duck. Knight C3 again. D4. I'll remove this square. Knight B1 again. Alright. I'll do the same on the other side. H3 duck F5, trying to block my bishop will allow H6 and we get a trade. Didn't happen. Okay, I'll go back. It seems really difficult to make progress. F4. Aha. Finally. Here comes the middle game combat. Queen E7. He has been consistently preventing me from making progress, so that now he can get to start the chaos himself. I will absolutely welcome it. F takes C5. Knight takes C5. Knight back to f3. He's forcing a trade. Bishop takes. Long castle, and I'll block the only square that his knight can go out. Position is very balanced. You may say there is a bit of advantage for me, but I'm being down more than a minute on the clock. I may need to speed up a little bit. But in this position, something unexpected happened. I won. Okay, I have no idea what happened there. Chess.com said he forfeits on time, but apparently he was still having more than I did. Absolutely very convenient. A win is a win. Duck Chess Speedrun, 2200% win rate.